get everything up and running. Boop. Boop. There we go. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Alright. I think sound is running. That's right there for now. I think all of our cameras are running. Right there is my middle point. Alright, so let's double check to make sure she's up and running on the YouTube. That's World of Warcraft. You don't need that right now. Maybe later, World of Warcraft. Maybe later. And then we go to the YouTubes. Make sure we are good to go. Which we are. Yay. Alright, we're working. Looks like sound is working. And we are good. We are good for painting fun times. Had some Coke Vanilla in there. Trying to wake up. Alrighty. Man, I have done so many different Tyranids. I've painted easily a dozen test models. All kinds of different stuff. Just trying to get different ideas down. Some of them didn't work out, like this one. This one's not bad. He's pretty good. I like some of that. This guy's just a slightly different variant of the other one. This guy's half painted because I realized the fancy turquoise paint I got is like crazy dark. And then this guy, I'm pretty happy with the direction he's going. So this is a model brought up to this base coat. So Hydra turquoise with bone, drake tooth arms and limbs, kraken scale, tongue and stuff, yellow claws, and then the whole model is hit with Griff Charger gray. Hello. So the whole model is hit with Griff Charger gray, so it gives sort of fills in the details, gives it kind of a grimy look. Now I need to go back and pull out some of the contrast on it, lighten up some areas, hit it with some highlights, stuff like that. So I'm pretty happy with this. I started doing it on one of the big bugs because I was thinking maybe the problem, because I've been really frustrated painting these guys. I was thinking maybe the problem I was having was actually the fact it was just painting the Gene Stealers and I wasn't doing any of the big stuff. So I hit this guy in the same regard. I'm quite happy with how he looks. He needs some detail painting and some cleanup and then some dry brushing. But yeah, I'm super happy with that. I think it looks pretty good. I think it's a nice route forward. You can see things I forgot, like the talon there and the little bits of fiber inside the tubes, stuff like that. I forgot to paint those. But yeah, pretty happy with that. So once he gets a little more detailed cleanup, I think I'll call him good. I think I have a route forward for painting my Tyranids, which is nice because they've been kind of driving me nuts actually painting them. So that's good. Yeah, so let's see. Normally I play games on Sunday, but today I kind of just want to get through some hobby backlog, really. As Friday was sort of my 2-year anniversary at my job, so I was dumb and bought some shit on a whim, as I do, and I want to work on it. So I bought some Stormtrooper guys. Specifically, I got the Star Wars Legion starter set. So it comes with a bunch of clone troopers and a bunch of battle droids. So we're going to work on these guys today. I love your terror birds. Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna work on these guys. We're gonna try to do a stormtrooper and a clone trooper. No, a battle droid and a clone trooper today. We're gonna try out a couple different painting types on them and see how it goes. Also, fun things to show off. My first 3D print. I printed an axe for a knight. It messed up a little bit. It's a little crooked in some spots. It needs a lot of cleanup still, especially this side. But it's pretty cool just to be like, wow, and print something out. Definitely a lot of refining. I'm not sure why it screwed up on this side. I think the build plate was correct. I think the plastic just came up off the build plate and didn't stick down. I think maybe, I'm not really sure. But very cool. Lots of cleanup still to do, especially on this side that's rough. I don't know if I'll actually use it for anything, but definitely neat to see, that you can print stuff out. So yeah, definitely be printing more stuff out, especially for like kit bashes and customs and stuff. So, okay, so let's paint some guys. All right, nice neutral position stormtrooper. We'll do him first. So I decided to get into Star Wars Legion because a couple of the YouTubers I like were talking about it recently. I'm liking the rules, and I've kind of been on a Star Wars kick after Mandalorian, to be honest. I started playing Star Wars Battlefront 2, and it's a super blast. It's a really good fun time. So yeah, I'm like, I don't know. I was like, fuck it, I want to buy something. So, bought some guys. So these guys are sort of roughly primed. Come on, focus. Focus, focus, focus. Thank you. These guys are sort of roughly primed with Corax White, which is a spray. They're not quite white enough for me, though. So I'm going to just sort of heavy dry brush some more white onto them. Just to get the color up a little bit more. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I just want it to be a little whiter than it is, because Quark's white tends to come out a little closer to gray than white, unless you really, really cake it on. So we'll just brush some white on there. These guys are clone troopers. The initial painting for them should be pretty easy. Shouldn't be too bad. Okay. Alright, cool. Alright, so now if we compare him to his buddy, you can see he's got a little more white. We're off the screen. You can see he's got a little more white to him than his buddy does. His buddy's a little more gray. So, pretty happy with that. So, we'll set him aside to dry. Put him right there to dry. Throw some paint off our dry brush. And we'll move to one of the battle droids. Let's do this guy who's got like a jaunty squat kind of thing going on. We'll move him off camera to dry. So we're a little more zoomed in today than normal, which is weird. Are we still zoomed out? No. There we go. Stop. Thank you. All right. So the box set comes with some of these clone troopers, or some of these droid troopers. It also comes with some droidicas. But they aren't prime jets. We're not going to work on them today. But Star Wars, especially Clone Wars, does a sort of children's TV trope that's pretty common, where they color code the bad guys for the different types of bad guys. So, for example, the super battle droids are like blue metallic The standard battle droids are tan. You know, the droidekas are brown and gunmetal. You know, they are like, these are the specific colors for these things. It's something you see a lot in children's media. Like if you look at Mobile Suit Gundam, for example, the Zaku, which is like the grunt, is green, and the Goof is blue, which is silly because the Goof is just a melee Zaku, so it should just be green too and look slightly different. You know, the Dom, which is the heavy Zaku, is just purple. It's like, why would you make that one purple and make the other one blue? The other one's green. What? Doesn't make any sense. But it's a pretty common trope just in children's media. So the battle droids sort of follow the same thing. So as I'm painting them, I'm going to try to get rid of that. So they're all going to use sort of the same kind of color scheme. And I think the bone color's actually probably the best one. The one for this, just the standard battle droid, is really neat. So this guy's going to get, he's right now primed again with the same Quark's white. So he's going to get some skeleton horde contrast, and then we're going to pick out some of his details with like a dark gunmetal. And I'm going to try to do that same color concept for all of the different battle droids. So like the droid, his details will be dark gunmetal, and then like his bigger armor pieces will be skeleton horde. And it should blend them together as an army a little bit more, but we'll see how it goes. So yeah, so this guy is Quark's white already, so we're gonna get our contrast paint, and we're gonna hit him pretty quick with some contrast after I'm done eating my beard. There we go. The contrast paint will take a little bit longer to dry, but we'll go work on our Mr. Star Wars Space Marine there while it's drying. So yeah, contrast paint is nice as long as you don't try to do an entire model in it. I think it put a lot of, when it first came out over a year ago, I think it put a bad taste in a lot of painters' mouths, because there was this whole like, you don't need to do any of the painting steps when you use contrast because it's so great kind of marketing thing to it. But the truth is, it is actually really great. You just need to, you need to treat it like part of a toolkit, not like the entire toolkit, and it's really good. So for things like this where it's, there's a lot of big areas in here, or a lot of like little details and stuff. So basically I can do this and it's going to do base coating for me and my initial wash to pull all the details out and panel line them. And I'm doing that all in one really quick, easy coat. Now the problem with this is that it is very obnoxious to clean up if I mess up after this. So in the step where I'm going to be painting his gun and his details and stuff, if I screw up in that step, it's really obnoxious to go back and clean it up, because I then need to paint that area white and make sure it's about the same white as the rest already was, and then I need to hit contrast again. So sort of planning your order of operation with contrast paint, I feel like is super important. And also really, using it as a piece of the toolkit, not as the entire toolkit. Okay, let me just look him over. Make sure I didn't miss anything. A little hard to see on camera. Alright. He'll be back in a second. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything. Never painted battle droids before, so I don't have any idea of like what I should be like super paying attention to as far as details and stuff, so just want to get a really good look at him so I know any trouble areas for the next one kind of thing. Alright. So yeah, there we go. Alright, so that's him hit with just the skeleton horde contrast. And we're going to set him aside to paint, to dry. So he's going to take a little bit longer to dry, as contrast paint always does. So we'll move back to our Mr. Marine. So, our Mr. Marine needs a couple of things. One, he needs to be on camera. Two, he needs a bunch of his details painted in. Now, details obviously should be black. There is a contrast black paint that's fantastic, but unfortunately I don't have any. So we're going to be doing them regular black. But here's the interesting thing on order of operations. I don't want to hit him with a wash, because it's going to dye whatever the white armor is. I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use a contrast paint as a wash. Now, this is going to be a little obnoxious to apply. And I have one of two ways to apply it. I can apply it right now, and it'll be easier to apply the contrast paint. But at that point, it'll be harder to apply his black detail paint, because I'll need to be more careful with it. Or I could do the black now, then clean it up with white if I make any mistakes, and then have a harder time applying the contrast. Dilemmas. For interest in painting, I think I'm going to actually do, I don't know. Let me look at the design some. Let's see. Yeah, we'll do his details now. Move Mr. Battle Droid out of the way so I don't bump him. Do the details now. I think it'll be easy to get around them when we're doing the contrast, so I don't think it'll be too bad. If I was batch painting, I would probably do the contrast right now. Alright, so we got our brush. It's a round 3, which is perfect. And we're going to start picking out some details. So, again, I've never painted these kind of guys, so I'm going to need to get a little bit closer to him than I normally would on camera, just so I can see them. And I apologize if the camera's wiggling a little. Yeah, see, I already screwed up that joint there, by overlapping onto the armor a little. So painting his bits first is the right call. Go. We'll say you think white armor is stupid, and you play Star Wars Battlefront 2, and the fucking stormtroopers are like invisible, and you're like, it doesn't make any sense. How are you invisible in the fucking jungle? In white armor. But man, they're really hard to see. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. So we'll see, these models are super nice. The Star Wars guys are. The droids are really finicky to put together. Once you like get the hang of like how it works, you know, like once you get what they're putting down kind of thing, they're actually really easy to put together. And they, like the poses and the different weapons and stuff change out really nicely once you understand how it works. Yeah, see, I screwed up there again. It's a good thing that we are doing the black detail first. Again, massive screw up. Go. Okay. Now, what color are a clone trooper's hands? I think they're actually black. Yeah, I think they are black with a little bit of white armor on the back. But yeah, really impressed with these models. They went together really nice. Even the clone troopers, who were like soft plastic, still went together really, really nice. They have some neat options to them. Like every unit comes with like bazooka guy and stuff like that. It's pretty rad. And yeah, just genuinely really impressed with them. Also, for the price of a starter kit, because a starter kit is like $70 to $90. You get 2 units of droids, 2 full units of droids, with all the like weapon options and stuff they can have. You get 2 units of clone troopers. You get you should do anything there? Don't think so. I think that's. Do you paint the back of the leg there? Don't think so. I think that says it is. But yeah, you get 2 units of battle droids. You get 2 units of clone troopers. You get a clone trooper like speeder bike, which is pretty rad. And then you get droidekas. And you get General Grievous and Obi-Wan Kenobi. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Overall, really nice. For honestly a lot cheaper than I thought. So what armor you can, or the space between the armors you can see is gonna, it's gonna really differentiate or differ from pose to pose. So I'm trying to pick out the ones you can see. I don't think the belly is black. I think the belly is white. Let me check. Because I know this phase 1 trooper armor, it's a little weird in some spots for colors. So, where's the box? To the box! Alright, it's got pictures of clone troopers on it. Under the arms, the elbows, their hands are black, which is good. We chose correctly there. The back of the leg is filled in, and their belly is filled in. Okay, we're good. We have chosen correctly for colors for our clone trooper. Shit. There we go. Alright. So he just needs his visor painted, and then we'll paint his gun. At the same time, we do the details on the battle droid. There we go. There we go. it's really interesting. I'm really not sure where these shapes and stuff are. It makes it kind of hard not being that familiar with them. So that's pretty rough. All right, so let's let that dry for a minute. We'll go back to our Droideka. So he's all dried up pretty well, and we'll paint in some of his gunmetal details. Which gunmetal to use? Let's see. We have gunmetal from Army Painter. This is actually a little more silver. It's a little bit brighter of a gunmetal. And I have lead belcher somewhere. That's Astro Granite. There it is. And we have lead belcher, which is a little darker. So we're going to do lead belcher. I think technically their guns are supposed to be black. No, we'll do gunmetal. I think that's cooler. And gunmetal guns is cooler, and then we'll figure out some details to pick out on him as well. So besides, if we don't like the gunmetal gun, we can go back and hit it with black easy, and it will cover it up. So this contrast paint isn't actually fully dry. Just felt that sticking to my fingers a very tiny bit. So I'm going to watch how I hold it, because I want to keep on keeping on. Don't stop, won't stop. Going off the rails on a painting train. But I always do try to keep a couple points of contact when I'm holding the model. It's one of the reasons I don't have a painting handle, and I don't use a painting handle, because I like to, my hands are kind of shaky. I don't have super still hands, so I do generally like to have more than one point of contact with the model, because it helps hold it tight. And when I paint not on camera, I do actually hold the models closer into myself, which also really helps with stability. And painting a little bit further out than I normally would. Okay, so that's his gun pretty much done. Oh, I don't drop him. You can see I missed a little bit of contrast there on the inside of the arm, just because I'm not familiar with the shapes yet. It always happens the first time you paint a model. You're always going to miss something until you get the hang of painting that kind of model. Like I could probably paint a Space Marine like in my sleep now, just because I'm so used to like the kind of shapes it has, the kind of armor it has, stuff like that. Alright, so let's pick out some other details in gunmetal. I think his antennas here, everything but the tips, should be pretty cool in gunmetal. We'll knock that out. Okay. This like interior piece of his backpack here, do that as well in gunmetal. So let's actually do all the caps, all the joints. That'll tie nicely to the Droideka, who's going to have a lot of interior gunmetal. So pulling out some of the joint caps and stuff is probably a good idea. can see I missed some more contrast paint there on the leg. We'll go back and we'll hit it again when we finish up. Okay. Do the interior of this cap too. Okay, there we go. Alright, now we need to do the tops of those so they're more complete, so we didn't just paint one surface of them. And the nice thing about these having a little bit of round to them means that you're going to see the gunmetal when you look at the model from more than just the side. So you'll see it when you look at the model from the front of the back as well, as they stick out a little, which is cool. There we go. Alright, now let's paint some more details. Looks like he has like an axle joint here in his crotch. We'll pick that out in gunmetal too. And then the sort of bendy waist tube here, we'll do that in gunmetal too. Let's just give him a little bit of interior detailing that he wouldn't otherwise have. And it will help us expand our color palette for when we're extending it out to other droids, like the droid because we also got in the starter set, or if I want to pick up some heavy battle droids. I always found the heavy battle droid kind of dorky looking, but like it's one of those designs that grew on me as an adult. Like as a kid, I always thought it was kind of dumb because it's, I don't know, it's so flat, like it doesn't have a neck. Like as an adult, I'm like, oh, it's designed like that so that it helps reflect blaster fire. That's really cool. But as a kid, I always thought it was kind of dorky. Here we go. Let's do his eyes as well. There we go. And let's do this little detail here on the chest as well. Yeah, so that's our battle droid pretty much. Let's hit that contrast for the couple areas we missed, and then we'll re-examine him and see how he's coming. Alright, so a little bit sharper of a brush for doing our contrast this time because we don't want it to go everywhere. I do want to hit the couple spots we missed. Look on the back of the leg there. There are some spots we missed, like up under here, back of the arm there. His cowl there. Inside of the arm here, we missed that as well. The upper inside of the other arm. Some of his belly right here could use some more. And the back of the thing there. Nice. And we're just gonna hit it sort of gently over the eyes, just to tighten those lines up a little. There we go, because the gunmetal should still show through. We should wind up with a pretty tight line for the eye. Alrighty. Let's hit some of the other little gunmetal details we missed. Namely, we missed the joints here on the inside. We did not paint those. We should paint those. You're never going to see them. Yes, but I know that they're there. And when I pick these models up, I don't want to think about the things I didn't paint. I want to think about, man, how nice they look, and stuff like that. I don't want to be like, man, I really should have painted that detail. Because, like, I'm going to look at this model, and every time I see it, I'm going to think about that detail I didn't paint. It's just how my brain works. Like, I do that with everything, like, or things that I know are screw-ups. Go. But yeah, you can see this guy's shapes sort of lend themselves way easier to painting than the clone trooper. Oh, we didn't paint under his head. That's a problem. Let's do that. Alright, Skeleton Horde. Paint up under his head. There we go. Alright. And that's our pretty much completed battle droid. Nice and easy, thanks to Skeleton Horde. His color is a little dark compared to the movie. He's a little dark. I don't think it's bad though. He would probably be a little lighter if I had used some lighter. If I had done the whitewash or the white brush like I did on the Stormtrooper, he'd probably be a little bit lighter. But I think he looks pretty good. I think he's a nice mix between Stormtrooper or Battle Droid and like Genosian Battle Droid. I think it's pretty cool. And he will lighten up a little bit as his contrast paint dries some more. But yeah, I think that's pretty rad. I'm going to figure out some kind of markings for him. Like, you know, this one has blue markings, this one has yellow markings. So I can differentiate the units in the two different units. So like every guy in Unit 1 is going to have blue ears or blue knees or something. But I haven't figured out what yet. Maybe we'll work on that in a minute, because these guys paint so freaking quick. So freaking quick. So maybe we'll work on what to do for that in a minute. Alright, so now we need to clean up the white on our Stormtrooper for all the areas we messed up when we were painting our black. And there are quite a few mess ups, just because I'm not familiar with them. Normally you probably wouldn't have to do this. His details aren't like that specific that you probably mess up like this, but I did. So gonna go back, clean it up a little bit. Sort of hit the areas that I know are screw ups. I don't know why I painted those. Those aren't screw ups, but they were a little dark, so. Yeah, pretty much just touching up all the lines for the black at this point. Now, order of operations for this might dictate that it's actually better to do contrast first and then do black, but we'll see how it goes. Okay. There we go. Alright, and there we go. That's all his white lines touched up. We'll set that aside, let that dry for a minute. Let's actually, since we still have some white out, let's dry brush another Space Marine. Let's do the other guy. We'll do the Commander. I will say for these these Gen 1 clones, the Commander pose is pretty dorky. You get the option of like turning his head, but pose overall is pretty dorky. Really wish they would have had him doing something else. And he's really not interchangeable with the other guys either. Because you're always going to have a guy that's like pointing in a direction, and it just, I don't know. Like, it probably sounded cool to the designer. It's like front towards enemy kind of thing, but like, man, it's just kind of dork. The rest of them are really cool poses though. And it's surprising how much just like changing the way his head is looking, like looking left or right, how much of a difference that makes. So like these two here, one guy's got his gun lit kind of up and it looks like he's like aiming down the sights, and the other guy sort of has it and he kind of looks like he's like at rest, like maybe holding position, and the guy looks like he's shooting. It's pretty cool for such a simple little change, and it's really nice the minis sort of have that, you know, because they don't come with like options in the boxes, really. Maybe like one or two little things, but that's about it. So it's nice that, you know, even though they kind of have like a static pose, they still have some variation. Alright. Bringing out the big guns. Apothecary white contrast. Basically, this shit was made for Stormtroopers, from what I understand. I like this color. I used it for all my trees when I did my trees, so it like carried them. So see how it does here. All right, let me get that freaking hair off his base. Don't know where my tweezers are. It's gonna irk me. There we go. Having a dog that sheds a lot is a thing. All right, so let's hit it. So this is kind of a gray, so it is going to darken it down. It is also going to give us our detail sort of panel lining. And honestly, I don't want to be doing that by hand. And then we're going to clean up any of the areas where it looks like it's pulling too much. So we're gonna work on this guy for a couple minutes even after he's fully painted. And it's gonna give us our nice definition. God, I'm off the screen totally. Oh, I'm the worst. But yeah, it's gonna give us our definition sort of right out of the pot. So it's gonna be really nice. And we're just gonna have to clean up some of the areas. We can do white highlights after that, but honestly, I think I'm probably going to be happy with this as is, to be honest. But we'll see. I mean, it's doing a baller job of just pulling out those highlights already. I'm really happy with that. And maybe we'll hit the black areas with magnolia oil or something. Just to maybe help line them up a little bit. Get the wash to do some of our work for us. Alright, so let's get all of it on. There we go. Yeah, I think hitting the helmet with Nuln Oil or like the black areas of the helmet will help line those up a little bit. I feel like I did a decent job lining those up, but not perfect. So we'll definitely do that. And again, we don't want too much of this on our brush as we're applying it. So we really don't want it to like make the armor really gray. But we just want it to get in the recesses for us, add some definition to our clone trooper. But yeah, got him off camera again. I'm the fucking worst. All right, let's look at this guy. But yeah, see, we're getting some shadow in there, which is nice. Getting some definition in there because of the contrast paint. Just going back and I'm hitting sort of the big flat areas. And basically I have just a little bit of water on my brush, and that's it. There's nothing else on there. Just hitting the big flat areas just to pull some of the white back up to the top. Now if we wanted to be really precise with this, we probably should mix some medium into the contrast paint. They have a special medium for it. And basically it would keep... Why are we so blurry today? You killing me, Cam. It would keep this from drying so quickly. And you see some of it's already starting to dry. But you know, I'm not that pressed with trying to get it perfect. So I'm pretty happy if our Stormtrooper just has some highlights. If he has a little bit of gray area, the area that I think is too gray, I can go back and I can pull it out later with more white. But I'm pretty happy with that sort of as is. Alright, so now let's break out some Nuln Oil and let's hit the black areas just to tighten up those lines a little bit. So basically we're going to use this as like a panel wash. I would actually be tempted to break out my Tamiya panel wash, but it's on the other side of the room. So we're just going to hit some of those details. Just use that to pull it up a little bit, to tighten it up. And there with the neck, in the arms. Maybe some areas where we couldn't get paint in earlier. Just hit those a little bit more so it looks like there's some black in there. Like, you know, the ankles and stuff like that. These areas like these knees and stuff like that, just to try to get some little bit of black in there. Now we don't want it on the armor, so we're going to pull that off there. Now what we do want to use it to get a little bit of dark in some of those areas, like in there and in there. There we go. Basically just spot panel washing at this point with it. Just trying to get a little more definition, tighten up the lines with the black a little bit more, stuff like that. And yeah, there we go. All right. Let's paint his gun. Let's paint his gun, and then we are ready to do markings. And we'll do markings on him and on the battle droid. So we'll set him aside to dry after we paint his gun. And that will give the battle droid more time to do. That'll give us more time to do the battle droid markings. So again, I'm using gunmetal for the rifles. I don't like, this isn't accurate. Their guns are actually black. Imperial blasters and most blasters in Star Wars are just black. But I want them to stand out a little from the black gloves. That's why I've chosen to do them in gunmetal. Now, I'm not sure how I'm going to weather these guys yet, because I don't know what planet I want them to be on. I'm kind of partial to the idea of doing Felucia, which is like a really crazy colored jungle planet, and having all my units be from Felucia, like so that they're like a matching set. Because I'm gonna be super honest, I'm really excited about playing this game, like super mega excited for it, but I don't think I'll be like collecting everything from it, kind of thing. Just because some of the armies don't super interest me. Like the rebels are sort of meh, most of their units. Like honestly, I think like the Tauntaun is the coolest unit. So like I might literally just buy a Tauntaun because I just want to pick the Tauntaun. Like I don't think I'm gonna buy a whole rebel army just because I want to paint a fucking Tauntaun. You know what I mean? Like, I've done that before. Look at my AdMac, but you know, I don't think I want to do that. So yeah, there he goes. All right, so let's paint some colors on him now. So these guys, let's make them. First unit, we'll make them whatever the hell Captain Cody's guys are. They're like 21st Legion or something like that. Basically the guys from episode 3 that had yellow markings. They would have been the stage 2 stormtroopers at that point, but like in theory that unit started earlier, so we'll do them as the stage 1s because that's what we got. So we want to do something sort of inspired by that. So we want to do some yellow. Oh crap, I should be doing the battle droid first, so this guy has time to dry. Yeah. And it's gonna stick while it's wet. Alright. You gotta wait, my friend. Battle droid, first up. Roger, roger. So these guys usually have weird markings. They usually have like ooh, yeah, we'll do glow. They usually have like dots on their chests or like a dot on their head, something like that. I think yeah, the first ones we'll do Elemental Bolt. I'm tired of using Hydro Turquoise. It's the color I've been painting on all my fucking Tyranids. That's why it's so close. Elemental Bolt, first up. These guys are going to be like the sort of Green Legion. Do I want them to be sort of green? No. them to be red. Yeah, chaotic red to be exact. Stop. Thank you. Yeah, we'll do their markings in red. That's cooler. That feels like a more earthy kind of color for them, which is nice. Alright, so usually they have things like dots on their chests and like panels on their head painted and stuff. So we'll pick out... Oh, did that separate out? Separated out really bad. That's a sound for you. So there we go. Alright. She's less separated out. Still separated. Oh man, it's annoying. Oh well, it should be good enough. I believe. Okay. So we'll do like panel here on the head. Then we'll do like one of the panels here in the chest. And then around camera, okay. Then I want to tie this color down lower into the body too, so we'll do this panel here in the front of the leg. I'm sure there's like official markings that you can look up for these guys, but I'm not a big fan of that. I want them to be my own in some way. So I'm just going to do my own thing. There we go. Now I've got the same kind of color tied down lower in the body. If these aren't perfect, that's fine. I mean, this kind of stuff is what would get beat up anyway. We'll do one panel here in the chest. We'll have it come over the side a little bit. Yeah. Again, I don't want it, to be some exact unit from the movie. It's not the life I'm about, so I'd rather have them be my own guys. All right. So yeah, there he goes. Roger, Roger. Oh, let's paint part of the backpack. Let's paint a marking on the backpack. Let's do like this panel here. That way he has something on the front or the back so you can see that he's from the red unit. Whatever side you're on. So yeah, there we go. That is a completed B1 battle droid. Ready for the table. Roger, Roger. Ready to go to work. Ready to be killed by a child and his droid. All right, now let's do the markings on our Mr. Clone Marine. Clone Trooper. Alright, so this guy's going to be yellow because I love Avalanche Sunset. I like the idea of doing his knee covers here Yeah, again, I want something on the upper body, the lower body, and the head. Tying it into the arms isn't super important to me, but upper body, lower body, head. Let's do one of the panels, actually. Let's do one of these in yellow. That's pretty cool. There we go. And then I guess let's paint the fin, I guess. Yeah, it's pretty good. Well, yeah, let me clean that fin painting up a little. Messed up a little there. Just clean it up a little bit. And I made it worse. Good job. Alright. Now comes the problem with contrast. So I want just the tiniest amount of white on my brush, because I don't want it to be super, super, super heavy. I want just enough to cover up the screw up. It's taking a couple of layers, but we'll get there. Alright, and now hopefully when that dries you won't be able to see the screw up. So, fingers crossed. Still need to probably still put some more on there. There we go. And try to blend that in and do a little bit of like a highlight kind of thing. This is the problem with working with contrast. Alright, so that should be pretty good once he is all dry. Alright, now I want some kind of yellow on the chest. So maybe some like lines or something. Maybe something like coming down like between his like armor boobs, maybe. Something maybe like no, we'll do like maybe like this. Just want something on the chest. And maybe like that. And it could like run under his pecs. Like that. Nice. Okay, so let's touch up the knees so they're colored all the way around, just not on the front. Like we did with the helmet, fin, And yeah, that is a completed Mr. the Marine. Trooper, sorry, not a Marine. So, we have a completed Clone Trooper and a completed Battle Droid. Roger, roger. So the Battle Droids, I'm probably going to do different, like, body markings on each one. And the Clone Troopers, I'll probably do the same. I think that will look cooler. And the Commander will have special markings, I think. But yeah, there they are. A guy from each side of Star Wars Legion box set. I'm now going to paint the rest up. And yeah, they're probably just going to get rapid fire batch painted. Bing bang bosh. And they'll be ready to go. Yeah, so that's it. So that is 2 Star Wars Legion minis painted to completion, start to finish. And we are just over our hour mark, so we will go ahead and call it there. And I will finish the rest of these guys up. And yeah, next weekend maybe I'll play a game with them. It'd be cool. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching, and have a good rest of your weekend.